The Vanishing Lake, a group of 5 friends Maya, Ethan, Claire, Lucas, and Sam decided to camp by a remote lake they'd found on an old map. It was labeled Lake Solace, but no one had ever heard of it. That only made the adventure more appealing. The hike was grueling, and by the time they arrived, the sun was dipping behind the trees. The lake was stunning, perfectly still, reflecting the star-filled sky like a mirror. The air smelled faintly of pine and wet earth, and not another soul was in sight. As they set up camp, Claire noticed something strange. Where's the sound of the water? Shouldn't there be waves or something? The group paused to listen. She was right. Despite the size of the lake, it made no sound, no ripples, no gentle lapping against the shore, just silence. They brushed it off as odd but harmless. After dinner, they built a fire and stayed up late, swapping ghost stories. Sam, the skeptic of the group, laughed at their attempts to scare each other. "The only thing out here is mosquitoes," he said. But as the night wore on, they began to notice the silence felt heavier, oppressive even. The usual sounds of the forest, crickets, owls, rustling leaves were absent. Around midnight, Lucas stood to stretch and glanced at the lake. He froze. "Guys, come look at this." The others gathered around, their flashlights aimed at the water. The lake, which had been perfectly reflective earlier, now appeared pitch black, like a void, and something was moving beneath the surface. Ethan stepped closer, his flashlight beam dancing over the water. "It's probably just fish." A hand shot out of the water, pale and bloated, grabbing Ethan's ankle. He screamed as it pulled him toward the shore. The others grabbed him, tugging him back, their shouts echoing through the stillness. Finally, the hand released him, and he stumbled back, trembling. The group backed away from the lake, watching in horror as more hands began to break the surface. Dozens of them. The water churned violently now, and a low, guttural sound rose from the depths. "We need to go," Maya yelled. They grabbed what they could and bolted into the woods, leaving their tents and gear behind. The path back was treacherous in the dark, but none of them dared to stop. The guttural sound followed them, growing louder, as if the lake itself was alive and angry. When they finally reached the main road at dawn, exhausted and shaking, they turned back to look. The forest was still. There was no sign of the lake, just trees where it had been, as if it had never existed. No one spoke of Lake Solace again.